to move on to election security. So how many of you guys know that we got live stream ballots cameras going at the elections office? We have watchers too. Summer's been there, Aaron has too. So I love when they come because they actually get to see the process and what we do. But you guys can actually watch it on live stream YouTube on our kcgov.us election tab. And where you can see us doing, we're doing is absentee opening, ballot storage, and then the tabulation. We got those cameras back in 2020 for the November election, and I'm really fortunate we did. We have cameras all through the building. On our ballots, we now, since 2020, have a watermarking that cannot actually be photocopied. It has a distinct color on there, and we rotate that watermark based on early voting, absentee, and election day. So that is a good feature. I love that. And then accounting of ballot stock. We're constantly counting. We actually have a counting machine that helps us count paper, essentially. We always try to count what stock we have when it comes in from our printer. So we say, okay, legislative 201, we order 200 ballots. We don't just hope there's 200 ballots. We count that there's 200 ballots, and we account for that. We also account for any blank stock we have for early voting each election, so we know the inventory that we have. Chain of custody, we have at least 2 people with the ballots at all times, and we have login sheets, again, and they're on camera too on top of that. The ballot storage room, we call it the cage. You guys have seen that. The tabulating room and the ballot inventory room all have keypad locks for the doors, and then again cameras in the room. It's getting cut off, I'm sorry about that. So one thing I want to verify or let you guys know in Idaho that we do really well, and I wish it was across the country, is that when we get absentee requests, you do have to fill an absentee request form out once a year. It's not automatic, a lot of people don't realize that. And when we get a actual paper, or if it's online, absentee request, if it's a paper application, we actually verify the signature on that too as it comes in. Now, if someone does it online, they have to use their driver's license and social security number to request an absentee. And once that absentee ballot's sent out and comes back to our office, it's scanned by an actual employee. And they're scanning into our system to verify against the registration system and the registration card, the signature that it matches. If it doesn't match, then we have to notify the voter and let them know it doesn't match, and we do that. So, like I said, it's a registration card, or if they register with a driver's license online, that's the signature we're verifying. Okay, one thing I want to say, because this is a big topic for the Secretary of State's race, is Kootenai County did not apply or receive any private funds. And actually, there's someone here, I'm not going to point them out. I was talking to them about a different topic, and they asked me, have you read that Wisconsin report yet? And that led to a whole conversation about security, obviously, and then what we're going to be doing on April 12th. So what I want to say is, in the state of Idaho, the Secretary of State has to certify any equipment that we buy for tabulation and the software and equipment. So, and there's no dominion in the state of Idaho. We have ES&S, election system software and hardware. Okay, Kootenai County is the largest central count, so when you say, oh God, what's taking them forever? We do not have precinct counters like Ada and Canyon, where they actually count the ballots at the polling location. All ballots are brought back to our office, and then we run them on our machines. And that allows us just to, again, verify the accuracy, and it's a good way of you guys actually watching us tabulate. So in Kootenai County, we do not use a ES&S DS200s. Those are the precinct counters. We have Central Count, which is the DS850s, and they're not connected to the internet. And the guy coming from ES&S next Tuesday, he's going to go full detail about all this equipment and technology that they have with ES&S. Again, we do not use the DS200s, which I believe was in that Wisconsin report, which are the precinct counters. And one thing we do, and I think Summer and Aaron, and I think Sandy was there too, we do a logic and accuracy test on Monday for the public. And then on Tuesday morning, we also do it again. And so we create our own basic logic and accuracy test where the Secretary of State gives us guidelines how to test to make sure the machines are reading correctly. So Tuesday morning, before a ballot goes in the machine, it's tested again. And then if there's anything issue with the machine and it needs to be worked on in any kind, it's tested again before we run any ballots. And then we test it again at the very end of the night to make sure it's reading correctly every time. So, one thing I did learn after having this conversation and having ES&S willing to come out and their infrastructure security person come and talk to us is I didn't realize that this equipment back in 2019 was tested here in Idaho National Laboratory for like 9 weeks. And they went through some strenuous testing, and it was great. And he's gonna talk about that testing that they did at this laboratory. So, we're almost done here. So on Tuesday, April 12th, 3 p.m., 6 p.m. at the elections office, we're going to have an election security town hall. I called up Chad, the Deputy Secretary of State, Chief Deputy Secretary of State. I said, would you come up here along with ES&S, because Secretary of State certifies this equipment. So he's coming up along with this gentleman who is the Senior Vice President and Chief Information Security Officer of ES&S. And he's been doing these town halls across the country with a lot of success. So I want the public to be able to come and ask questions and hear his presentation. Now we are limited, it's 50 per slot because we're doing it at the elections building. And if you want to come, just make sure you RSVP at kcelections@kcgov.us. And thank you.